Before we went into the break, we told you about financial technologies, the stock that has been in the limelight, unfortunately for wrong reasons, for the longest time. And yesterday, just on the eve of the AGM, the company's auditors withdrew their report for FY13. Now, that's important. It's only for 1 year that they have withdrawn, and on the basis also of a limited reason that one of the key subsidiaries, NSEL's auditors, withdrew their report for the FY13 numbers, for the FY13 earnings. We have with us someone learned in the law with respect to corporates who has been a regulator, Jane Gupta, founder and managing director of Stakeholders Empowerment Services, an entity that looks at the rights of shareholders, also former ED of SEBI, and Mr. T.P. Ostwal, a senior partner at T.P. Ostwal & Association, basically a very renowned chartered accountant. Gentlemen, welcome. Mr. Gupta, let me get to the penumbra of this case. The ongoings at NSEL are indicating that it may not be only an FY13 kind of problem. Bits and pieces of information that we are getting indicate that this problem could be even older. So do you think auditors are in line to withdraw even their consent to previous year's earnings?
First, I would like to clarify that an audit report once given, it cannot be withdrawn. Okay. There is no law which allows the auditors to withdraw the thing. They have to own the report. What they are saying that the report is no longer reliable. Okay, so there is a distinction. Second issue that you have said, that whether it is only for FY13 or for previous years also, I and you can only make wild guesses or intelligent guesses, as you may call, but we are not sure. The main issue that which hitting us is the timing of this action. Now, we all know that this crisis of NSEL has been in public domain for at least 50 days now. Now, why it took auditors so much time to decide whether their audit report is reliable or not? But going further, I would say that FT is a company which has couple of subsidiaries. Now, if it is related to only NSEL, then worse could be that the value of NSEL is zero. So they could have revised their opinion and said that insofar as NSEL is concerned, in the standalone account or something, we are taking the zero. But by doing this, they have raised a lot of questions and they have created panic among the investors. This is where I am very uncomfortable with their action. And the other issue is this, that there seems to be difference of opinion between the company as well as the auditor. The auditors have said that they have raised this issue, they have said this report is not reliable based on standard on auditing SA 560, which is even subsequent to the balance sheet date till the date of signing the balance sheet. Okay, whereas FT is of the opinion that these events relate to post signing the balance sheet, that is 30th May. So the auditors and company both have come to terms who is on what side. Okay.
Mr. Ostwal, why don't you react to that? Is the position of the auditors of withdrawing, not withdrawing, but saying that their accounts is not reliable, is that a correct position? Are they justified? Because after all, that NSEL's go downs were not backed by resources. A lot of detail has come in much later, even if the imbroglio itself broke 50 days earlier.
Well, as far as the withdrawal of the auditor's report is concerned, this has not been approved by the shareholders as yet. Okay. So, annual general meeting has not taken place and the auditors are entitled to withdraw the report. But what point which was made out by Mr. Gupta is that very valid, that this concerns the investment into the stock exchange here. So, your withdrawal could have been guarded with a comment saying that the value of this has eroded and therefore to that extent we need to revise. But if the auditors have not given any reasons, then of course the issue is a little more serious than what appears to the eyes. And therefore, what was the reason? And you rightly asked a question that this was brewing in the past. So why you have withdrawn the accounts of the 1 year and not the earlier years? Earlier years accounts have been adopted by the shareholders. So there is no process of withdrawal. So this year's accounts have been withdrawn because the AGM has not yet been convened, and they have withdrawn 3 agendas from the AGM. Yes. The reason is obvious, because if the accounts are not adopted, the dividend cannot be adopted, and the appointment of the auditor also will be pending.
Okay, Mr. Oswal, he made a point about the other subsidiaries also, and that's been the fear in the market, that there could be more inter-party transactions and the issues could percolate into the other subsidiaries as well. What is your view on that?
No, knowing well the nature of, not knowing well the nature of transactions, I will not be able to comment upon that. But if there are subsidiaries within the India or within outside India, that is an issue. And if there are subsidiaries outside India, possibly there would not be any transactions with the stock exchange here. I don't think so. But if there are transactions, yes, then there are issues one has to look at. And we also learned that the auditor of NSEL also has withdrawn the report. And therefore that leads to another issue. In fact, this is an issue which possibly was not anticipated by the management or the auditors earlier. It ought to have been sensed, because if something is wrong, it doesn't surface overnight. It has to be there. You have sense of feeling for last 2-3 years something is going wrong.
Yeah, and I was going to come to that actually. Is